This is very controversial, but I'll say it anyway. Getting the corporate job is not the problem. Maintaining the corporate role is the problem. So there are three reasons my clients come to me. And stick with me to the end. Let me know if this is you. I don't know. But first and foremost, they're not lazy. They're not dumb. They're just in the weeds. And they're in the weeds because nobody has truly trained them on how to be a leader. So you're doing the job as a task rabbit because no one's shown you how to go above the noise. No one's showing you how to get the noise out and be a strategist. And the reason you don't have a strategy is because quite often those that hire you may not have one as well. So essentially, what happens is you're solving everyone's problem instead of building a system to mitigate the problem. In essence, you become the bottleneck or you become the challenge in the workflow process. So you remain at task rabbit stage until you come out of it, which means until you get a coach to show you the strategy. And remaining in task rabbit mode or executor mode is not a strategy by any means. It is you on your way to burnout. And while you're at burnout status, some other things happen. We'll get into that. But in order to not have burnout, you need to have a strategy in order to maintain or sustain the leadership role that you're actually in. Number two, you're not mentally ready. See, when you're not trained for something or you see the glitz and glare of something, and like I said before, I did another video of the stages of leadership. The first stage is you think it's pretty, and so you decide to jump in. The second stage is you are now aware what it takes, and now that you're aware of what it takes, you are contemplating in your mind if you want to be there. So I digress. If you are mentally ready, then it allows you to shift and adjust as necessary to do the role. But when you are not mentally ready and you're only in task rabbit mode and then you switch, you're excellent as an executor, but you're not excellent as a strategic vision influencer. None of those pieces begin to add up. And so you begin to try to connect the dots within your leadership, but you can't connect the dots because you were never trained or not given proper information about what true leadership is. So essentially, you become resentful of the role because it needs your vision, it needs your strategy, it needs your influence, it needs your intention and how you do things, how you're going to scale. All of those pieces were not told to you, all of those pieces were not trained. And since they weren't trained, now you resent the role, which takes us to the last part. And this is the favorite one. Since you skipped the step, you weren't trained. Then, since you weren't trained, you weren't mentally ready. Since you skipped that step of being mentally ready, then this is the part that gets everybody. You begin to be who you think they want you to be in the boardrooms, which means you switch personas as necessary to try and get what you need when all along this persona that you're giving everyone, they already know it's fake. So what's happening, instead of you being who you truly are, you code switch, you shape shift, and those two things make you untrustworthy depending on who you're talking to. But quite often in leadership, they don't trust somebody who shape shifts or who code switches. And then you do that because you want to remain safe. And if I remain safe, then nobody really knows what I can or can't do. And I just remain the task rabbit in this particular role for the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years. And so what happens is because you are misaligned, not just with the role, but with who you are internally, because you're now code switching, because this persona that you've put on, this air that you've put on is now in the business, and you think people think that that is you when actually you are someone else, then you begin to not only resent the role, but now you're completely exhausted and you've burned out. And so, what do I do as a leader? I help you to appreciate who you are as a leader. I help you to appreciate how to create a strategy, how to know and understand what you're doing. The moment you understand who you are is the moment that your executive presence goes up. Which means once your executive presence goes up, then you can have influence. Then once you influence, you are actually operating and scaling at the leader that you want to be and that you can be because you are brilliant, because you do have ideas, because you have the vision. You just can't connect the dots on how to execute that vision in a way that provides you with a strategy, makes your executive team happy, makes your peers know who you are, and your direct reports respect you. So you don't need another resume template. You need leadership that matches your values, that matches who you are, that matches your brain, that matches your brilliance, that matches the vision that you have in your mind so that you can lead effectively and have an impact on the business. If you're ready to talk about it, you know where to find me. That's no secret. But down in the comments, let me know exactly what you're having a challenge with. I'd love to hear from you.